Home athletes, welcome to a weightlifting Wednesday. We're doing something called the Big Clean Complex. Excuse me. This is a weightlifting complex, as you can see. Ideally, this could be done. If you have a barbell at home, use a barbell. I'm assuming most people have dumbbells though. So we're going to go with that. And I'll show you what we're doing. So what we're doing in this complex, we're doing 12 reps, right? We're doing 12 different things in an unbroken fashion, right? We start with rep 1 and we go straight through to rep 12 without letting go of the weights, without putting the weights on the floor, straight through, all right? So first up, we have the 3-position squat clean, which we're actually going to do 3 times inside this complex. So this movement, very leg and hip driven movement, right? We talk about the jump and shrug, right? We drive up hard with the legs. This creates elevation and momentum on the weights. We give the shoulders a little bit of a shrug. We use the arms kind of after the hips have extended to kind of pull the weights up. And as those weights are coming up, we drop down into a squat. So we kind of jump, shrug, squat, right? There's more to it than that, but that's a really simple way to put it. So 2 dumbbells right here. We're going to start nice and tall, basically right about kind of, pocket level, upper thigh. So we're just going to start with a little bit of a knee bend, real slight hips back, jump shrug, bring it down. That is our high hang squat clean, right? That's the first position. Second position, from knee level. So we're going to send those sets back a little bit more now. That dumbbell's right about knee level right there. Same idea, jump, shrug, squat, and stand. That's the second position. Third position, all the way from the floor this time. We're going to really send those hips back. We're going to touch the floor just outside the feet. Jump, shrug, squat. That is a 3-position squat clean, and it's it right there. So we're going to do that 3 times. And then after each one, we're going to go overhead with our weights. I'll go through the 3 variations of weights, overheads. So first one, push press. Start by bending the knees slightly and then driving the weights up overhead. You notice I'm only bending my knees once, right? Bend the knees once, straighten the knees. Push press. Push jerk. We get to rebend our knees. So we start with knees bent, drive up, and then bend those knees a second time to drop a little bit underneath the weight. Makes it a little bit more efficient to get those weights off the shoulders. Split jerk. I'm going to do this first without the weights. Split jerk. This is kind of one we don't do a whole lot. You may or may not be familiar with it. This one, same idea. We're starting with the knees bent. We're aggressively jumping those weights up off the shoulders. And as the weights go up, this one's even more efficient for getting weight off the shoulders. Because what we're doing is as the weights go up, we're actually dropping underneath the weights into a split position, right? This is called the split position, thus the name split jerk. From the front, it looks like this. And we'll also have plenty of space between my feet from side to side. We're looking for stability. From the side, it looks kind of like this. Somewhat like a lunge, right? If I was going to drop my back knee to the floor, this would look pretty much like you would when you're doing walking lunges, very similar, except that back knee is not on the floor. Things to look for here, if you're practicing this at home, and why not? We want to have equal weight distribution between front foot, back foot. That's very important. We often see people kind of stomping that front foot down and going forward is way more weight in the front foot. To ensure this front shin should be a little past vertical towards your body, right? So vertical shin right here, which isn't terrible. The worst thing is when that knee drives forward, there's too much weight there. So vertical shin or even better, just a little bit pulled back towards the body. Torso is nice and vertical, as you can see, right? Support that weight overhead. This thigh, this femur here is pretty much vertical, knee pointed down towards the floor. And if you can see my back foot, that heel is way up in the air and just on the toe right there. Big thing here, like I said, stability, right? So you should be able to stand here, like somebody can come up and give you a little push. You're not going anywhere. You're very stable. Why? Because you have weights over your head. So practice just kind of standing there, getting in a good position. And then practice jumping that position, without any weights or anything like that. Feet directly underneath the hips, are those knees bent, and jump. Looks pretty good, it feels pretty stable. If it isn't, fix it and try it again. All right, so here, jump up, stable, weight evenly distributed, good to go. Then try it, just with your hands. So you're punching the weight up as you drop down. Try it with a, empty bar or PVC or whatever, something light. And there you go. So with your dumbbells, go just like that. Weights on the shoulders, little bend at the knees to start. Touch it up, recover. I forgot to mention this. Recover the front foot, recover the back foot. You're good to go. If that movement seems out of your skill range, probably isn't, but if you don't feel comfortable with it, you can always turn that split jerk into a second push jerk. Sounds good, right? It's all about lifting weights. And just for extra goodness, I have a bicep finisher for you guys. Bicep finisher. I know in CrossFit and in general, people always like, well, bicep curls, that's for all the meatheads. But actually, our biceps do play an important role in a lot of the things that we do. All that overhead stuff we do, you have weak biceps, makes it much harder to get that good lockout overhead. I mean, the tricep gets most of the attention, and rightly so, but the bicep, the antagonist to the tricep, actually plays an important role too. So, doing a few curls once in a while, it's a good idea. I think, let me check my 7 rounds of 21s. So I want you to do 7 sets, and I'll show you what these are. And feel free to rest in between each one, although keep the rest to a minimum, maybe a minute, minute and a half or so at the most. So, 5 sets, 21s. So what we do here, so what we're going to do, I'll show you what we're doing. We're doing 21 reps total. The first 7 reps are just at the bottom, right? We're going up to my arm is parallel to the floor. I'm going 7 reps right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep the elbows in nice and tight. We're looking for a 90-degree angle in that elbow. 7 reps. That's not so bad, right? Then we're going the top half for 7 reps. So from the shoulder down to parallel to the floor, and 7 reps right here. 7 reps. Start feeling a little something in the biceps. Again, kind of keep those elbows in tight to the body. Don't go too fast. Take your time. 7 reps right there. And then we'll do the whole thing. 7 reps from here all the way up to here. 7 reps. So we're doing 7 of the bottom half, 7 of the top half, and then 7 full bicep curls. Adds up to, you guessed it, 21. So if you have a variety of weights, feel free to build up in weight. If you just have the one set of dumbbells, that's all you need. And this can be done, again, if you have your odd object at home, if you have a barbell at home, it can be done with anything, right? You should feel a nice burn going on in those biceps by the time you get into those sets. All right, that's enough talking for me. I've already talked too much. Have a great workout. Talk to you tomorrow.